Hi crafty friends, Kim from Stamping and Scrapping Imperfection. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I am playing with a sketch today that I found on Pinterest that I absolutely love. I pulled out the Hello Darlin, Close to My Heart scrapbook workshop kit, and I'm excited to finally use this. I've had it for a little while. This was actually the featured scrapbook workshop kit for June at Close to My Heart, and it's so pretty. I really just wanted to save it for summertime crafting because that's when I'll be taking summertime pictures. So I'm excited to actually pull this out. So the kit does come with 3 double page layout ideas. It comes with all of the cutting diagrams and step-by-step instructions for each page if you want to follow those. I'm going to do my own thing. Here you can see the gorgeous sticker sheet that comes in this kit. Lots of title opportunities, a couple of border pieces, lots of sentiments, and some gorgeous little stickers. So I'm excited about it. Here are the papers. You can see they're all double-sided. They're nice heavyweight papers, so I love that. There are 2 sheets of these star die cuts, and the background paper is actually printed with a very nice subtle polka dot pattern, and the background pieces can be used as well. So this one is a 3rd sheet of die cuts, and there's lots of goodies here. You can see all the good stuff. I'll pull out some of those pieces to use. There are 3 exclusive pieces of patterned paper here. These are single-sided and they're exclusive to this kit. It also came with 6 sheets of cardstock. I got 2 sapphire blue, 1 candy apple red, and 3 of the white. I love their white cardstock, so I'm excited about this. I love how Close to My Heart also always includes some embellishments. There are some nice red acrylic bits, and then a sheet of the sapphire blue paperboard pieces, including a Celebrate title that will work on at least one page I'm going to do. So here you can see the 3 double page layouts that they've created, and when I flip this to the inside you can see they include those cutting diagrams for each piece of paper and then step-by-step instructions for those pages. So I'm going to put that aside. I'll use that for inspiration at some point, I'm sure. The kit also has a Hello Darlin stamp and thin cut set. I always love how Close to My Heart packages their stuff. And I love the stamp sets when they include tiny little bits. I always check those out before I make my page because I love doing stamping on my scrapbook layout. You can see the title opportunities there. The florals and the leaves are layered. So lots of good things there, and I always look forward to using it. The kit also comes with some photo mats in a variety of sizes depending on the suggested layouts. So I pulled out 2 of the patterned papers because the sketch I'm using, which is one of Laura Whitaker's stuck sketches, I think. I got this on Pinterest and printed that off. It calls for 2 pieces of patterned paper. I want to add a little bit of plain cardstock between them just to make that top piece pop off the back, and I love that bold red around the edge of that what I think of as a starburst pattern there. So I love these papers. I'm going to go ahead and gut the insides of them before I layer them together. I don't want to waste paper that nobody's going to see in the middle of my layout. All 3 of these pieces are going to be I'm going to actually just take the portions I need, so I'm going to gut all 3 of them, and I'll show you how I do that with one piece. So this is the background piece. I need it to be 12 by 12 inches around, but I only need about 3/4 of an inch or an inch. I decided that I would make a 1 1/2 inch frame, so I always start by removing the branding strip. I like the base part to have like a wider frame just because I think it gives the page some stability. So I'm lining up my paper with the 1 1/2 inch line to the right of my cutting arm, And then I'm going to start my blade at 1 1/2 inches. So you can see me lining it up right there, pushing it all the way to the top of the trimmer, which is now on the right hand side. I'm starting my blade at 1 1/2 inches, and I'm going to cut to 10 1/2 inches, and that will give me a 1 1/2 inch frame on the bottom edge of that paper. So I turn the paper 90 degrees, I line up the edge again with that 1 1/2 inch mark on the trimmer, then I run the blade from 10 1/2 to 1 1/2, and I keep doing that. I do all four sides, so I turn it 90 degrees, line it up with the 1 1/2 inch line, start my blade at 1 1/2 and go to 10 1/2, and then turn it one last time, line it up, and go from 10 1/2 to the 1 1/2, and you can see it pops right out. So I'm going to put that centerpiece aside and use it on another layout. I've done the same thing here with the red and the starburst pattern. The starburst pattern, I just cut 1 inch all around and put that frame aside. The red, I cut out a frame that was 1/2 inches all around, and then I cut out a second piece that was 1 inch from each of those. So I've got a nice red piece there, and I've got a nice extra red piece to use. And I put a generous amount of my adhesive on the back of each of these and adhere them together. So this is how you create a foundation page or a base page, or what I consider to be my canvas for my scrapbook layout. So I love that. It's a super simple way to create a base page and salvage some paper that you can keep using. So I know I'm going to use a 4x4 inch picture here. The picture will actually be a photo of my husband creating a deck in our backyard. I'm super excited about it. I've waited for years to get this project done. And I'm just going to cut down some of that nice blue floral paper in the kit. I cut it down to 4 1/2 inches square to use as a map behind my photo. Then I cut a piece of that red that I took out of the other piece. That's cut at 3 1/2 by 4 1/2, because the sketch I'm using actually has a piece layered like that. So pulling out some stamp sets, I have this one called Perfectly Imperfect Backgrounds, and the other one is Background Elements. That's the one I'm going to use today. I love those kinds of stamps for scrapbook layouts. I also pulled out It's the Little Things stamp set that I've had for quite a while, because I love the journaling line stamp in there. I also wanted to do, I love on this sketch, there is a word background behind the center of the layout, and I pulled out the word stamps that I have from Close to My Heart. This one is nice. I like it, and I could make it work, but it's all a recipe for friendship, and that doesn't really work with the theme of my page. I also pulled out the Parisian Notes. I love this. This would work beautifully, but I was a little afraid the solid parts of that would kind of clash with what I'm building here or take away from. So I decided to go with a splatter stamp from my Background Elements. You can see all the different patterns in these two stamp sets. I always snap those kinds of stamp sets up when I see them for sale somewhere, because I love using those patterns to add some texture to my backgrounds, my base pages or foundation pages. So I did pull out the sapphire blue ink, and I'm just going to add, you can see I put my photo down and I took a pencil and marked whereabouts I need to stamp. So I'm just stamping a few of these around the edges, and I can always add more if I want to. So I'm just, kind of going around where my photo is going to be. And I love the way this looks with the star embellishments and the sunburst embellishments. It almost looks like fireworks. So I'm going to put my photo down. I've got some adhesive on the back of it, and I'll slide that red piece underneath so that I get a peak of red around the top, the bottom, and the right hand side. I do love that pop of red. it just so beautifully pulls out those red flowers in that background. So it's really nice. So I'm just going to let an even amount of that show on the 3 different edges there. And I like where this is going. I pulled out a few other die cuts from the kit. You can see I have 3 stars here that I'm going to use on my layout. And if you don't have die cuts to go with whatever 2 patterns you're using, or in this case now I guess I have a 3rd pattern on there, then pull out your dies. If you have star dies or heart dies or hexagon dies or round circle dies, you know, definitely create some of your own die cuts from your leftover patterned paper. It just is so much fun to do, and it'll make you feel so good about using up things in your stash. So one little detail I want to add here, I want to just ink the edges of these white die cuts that I pulled out. I just want them to pop off that patterned background paper. So I'm using that blue and I'm going all around, even though I know I'm going to tuck some of that under there. At first, I stuck it between the 2 layers like the sketch showed, and the sketch actually called for a tag, but since I already had these pre-cut die cuts, I just picked one that I thought kind of worked. The sketch also called for 2 layered pennant pieces to the left, upper left corner and the lower right corner. I really liked this big scallop die cut that came in the kit, so I added that blue, sapphire blue to it, and I pulled out one of the date tabs and did the same thing there. So I'll just attach those to my layout with my adhesive. So far, everything's just getting regular adhesive, and I'm not too worried about adding dimension, although those stars are going to get some foam pieces. So here's where I decide I really want that red to show beside the photo, so I moved my semicircle. That's the beauty of using tape runner, because tape runner in general, for the most part, is repositionable until you really smush it down. And so I always wait to really smush it down until I'm sure I like my layout. I pulled out another die cut that's going to act as my title. It says Simply the Best, and it'll take the place of that banner piece on the sketch that it showed. One thing I really like about sketches, using a sketch, is like when I saw this one, I felt like it had a really nice balance to it. The page felt super balanced, so I liked that about this sketch. So it helps keep my pages balanced. Another thing it's doing for me is encouraging me to use less layers of embellishments. So I'm using less embellishments on my pages every time I use a scrapbook layout sketch. So that's a good thing. So before I add any embellishments, I do want to add those journaling lines to this piece I just put on there. And again, that's the It's a Million Things stamp set. And I'm realizing that I better mask this off because the die cut I picked isn't quite wide enough, so I'm pulling out some of this great masking tape that Close to My Heart has. I really like this. It's not super sticky. It's sticky enough to get through your masking, but not so sticky that it's going to pull, damage your paper, which I like. Some of the masking tape I've tried just really does some damage when I peel it off my paper, no matter how careful I am. So I'm just masking these, and I will use these again. So once I'm done, because I'm only going to stamp one thing here, so I'll pull those off. Pardon my head, I'm so sorry. But I have to be able to see what I'm doing so I get it straight. So I'll peel those off and I'll put them on the shelf right in front of me, and then I'll have those when I need to mask the next time. I did treat myself to getting the masking tape package, and I'm very happy that I did that. So I'm super excited about having that in my stash because it's such a good tool to have. And so many ways you can use masking tape, really, to get some pretty fun effects. So I added the foam pieces to the back of all my stars. I've got a nice visual triangle there happening. I want to put a little sentiment word as per the sketch. That was one thing the sketch included, but I want something that's going to pop, that makes sense with my page. I picked the red memories, and I like that I've now got a nice triangle of red there as well. So I like that little detail. I decided I wanted to add some of these blue embellishments. I'm going to pick the starbursts, and I want to do some stamping, a little bit more stamping, so I will pull out that Hello Darlin stamp set as well, one of the little stamp pieces that I call them filler stamps. I love when I get a stamp set and it's got some good filler stamps. So reverse tweezers are my best friend. I have sore hands. If you have sore hands, and even if you don't, reverse tweezers are a pretty fabulous way to add embellishments or to add glue to the backs of embellishments, especially tiny things or thin things like alphabet letters and things like that. I also have a glue tube here. I like glue tubes. I usually use the Tombow Mono liquid glue, but I had a couple of these glue tubes in my stash, so I'm trying to use those up. But I like them. I decided I wanted to add 3 clear gems, one to each of my embellishment clusters, just because I love to have a little bit of sparkle. I find it interesting. And I'm looking for my Hello Darlin stamp set, and I'm going to pull off one of the little stamps there, because I kind of would like some red elements in the clusters too. Even though there is a little red in each element, I just wanted to stamp some, because the stamping to me, when you stamp on your background piece or on top of one of your embellishments, I feel like it really adds some texture to your page, and it's a great way to get texture. So I'm using this medium-sized one that was in the kit, and I'm going to pull out a smaller floral one. It's a little tiny flower, and I'm going to add just a pop of red around that date tab there, and I'm deciding I want a couple on the left side, and without re-inking I just hit it again. So I've got a nice odd number, and it draws your eye across the date thing there too. So that's going to complete my page. So simple. A scrapbook sketch can really help you get started and focus your design. I changed it up a little. I feel like I kept the integrity of this design in place, and I love that I got some stamping on my page, and I used up some of the die cuts in the kit, and not too many of the stickers, so I have those to layer on future pages. So I'll put all the links to the stuff below. I'm not sure how much of the Hello Darlin kit is still available, but I will put it there so you can check it out, and I have no doubt you have something in your stash that you can use instead to make this layout if you are interested. So, and you don't have to gut those pages to salvage paper. I just really love these papers, so I know that I will like that. I will be happy to have a few of those extra pieces left over for using up more of this kit. So thank you so much for watching, friends. I have a wonderful day. I hope you feel inspired. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and click the bell so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching.